to be able to become that shaker.
Actually, make mine.
Yeah.
See, or that way you know it's me.
Okay.
I don't know about the doors.
Yeah, no, I get that. I was even, yeah.
It won't be as expensive as it was down here.
Oh, looks like someone's having like a birthday thing.
Contrary to what the Republicans have propagandized, Medicare for All is the conservative, nationalist, and Christian position that will put Americans first and protect working class families. Me and my family would benefit massively from Medicare for All. And so would the millions of Americans who are underinsured or uninsured. Everyone deserves affordable, quality health insurance. When I lost our kids' first coverage, I found myself having to pay out of pocket when I cut my hand on some broken glass. Thankfully, my parents covered the cost, but I've been avoiding going to the doctor ever since. I'm also transgender, and even with insurance, I'd never be able to afford HRT. It wouldn't happen. If Medicare for All was passed, I wouldn't have to worry about going to the doctor. I could get the care I need for free. And I could even get HRT. And I wouldn't have to worry about whether or not I qualify for Medicaid and if it'll even cover what I need. Back in 2016, my mom had a wreck and nearly died. She passed out at the wheel because she had internal bleeding due to an ectopic pregnancy. Despite nearly dying, despite it not being her fault, despite our family struggling to make ends meet. Insurance didn't cover the full cost, and my mom was left paying thousands of dollars in medical bills to this day. If Medicare for All was passed, my mom wouldn't have been forced to pay all medical bills for years. And we could put that money towards bills, food, and housing. And Americans wouldn't have to choose between bankruptcy and the medical care they need. My dad is a disabled type 1 diabetic. He has to take 3 types of insulin, costing $1,000 a month. Thankfully, Medicaid covers them all, but they took up 3 of his slots, meaning that he has to pay for some medicine out of pocket, which, along with the co-pays, costs him $300 a month, which he can barely afford. On top of that, the state is trying to take away his coverage. He can't work, so he would literally die. But they don't care. All they care about are donations from pharmaceutical and insurance companies. If Medicare for All was passed, my dad wouldn't have to worry about losing the medication he needs to survive. He wouldn't have to pay co-pays, and he would even be able to get life-changing surgeries to repair his back and fully regain his eyesight, free of charge. My papa needs eye surgery too, same surgery. It's hard for him to read. He can't see more than a few yards away. He has to use a magnifying glass to read his texts because his phone won't let him zoom in. Even though he's got Medicare, he can't afford good lens replacement. If Medicare for All was passed, my papa, along with millions of other Americans, could get the best care in the world and finally be able to see again. According to Morning Consult, 26% of Republicans support Medicare for All. How many Republican legislators support Medicare for All? 0. Absolutely none. They don't represent Republican voters, they represent Republican donors. They claim to be conservatives, but all they conserve are their donors' profits. Medicare for All would conserve 68,000 lives a year. They claim to be nationalists, but they don't serve the nation, they serve the rich. Medicare for All would serve the whole nation, not just the wealthy. They claim to be Christians, but I don't recall Jesus asking the leper for his insurance or charging him a copay. They clearly ain't read Matthew 5:42 or Luke 12:33, where Jesus says to give to the poor. Medicare for All would be the Christian approach. They claim to want to put America first, but they're putting big pharma and for-profit health insurance companies first. Medicare for All would put Americans first. They claim to support family values. They only care about wealthy families. Medicare for all would support all families. As a conservative, a nationalist, and a Christian who believes in putting Americans first and supporting working class families, I believe it's high time we give every American the health care they need and deserve. And this is how we can get that. Run for office at the state level. There's a lot more money in federal politics, making it harder to win elections. We have to abandon the corrupt Democratic Republican establishment. We need a People's Party. If we organize grassroots campaigns for Arkansas House and Senate, we can get Medicare for all passed at the state level. We have to list our enemies and make sure every Arkansan knows where their representatives and senators stand. Are they for the people or are they against us? We have to be fiery and aggressive. This ain't the time for weakness. This is the time for strength. We have to show our enemies that the power of the people is greater than the power of the rich. We have to destroy the Democratic Republican establishment and usher in a new age of populist politics.